So, hello guys. Let's see how this goes because it's so awkward to set up OBS with my retro thing and my audio and all that. And sometimes it's not just retro thing. I had another device and I was connecting my 3DO to OBS, and sometimes the frame would freeze, and I would have to deactivate and activate the USB device on the OBS. It did it all the time. Maybe the cables are not connected, so I'm doing everything very carefully. I try to not touch a cable. Maybe it's an OBS thing. I don't know. It's like because everything is clunkily connected, cables going onto cables and the cables. I need a better way to stream things. Because if this stops during this moment, it's over. Anyway, is it here that I have? I think it's here. I also have UG. I think I have a lot of garbage here. I'm going to go through my Bizarro Untergrund. I would call this version 1.0.2 because it's the 1.0.1 that I made some optimization and I did some more optimization and stats. Also, it's still not there, but there is a small improvement. But there's still work to be done. And I haven't made anything new in the gameplay. So this will be the first attempt to run it on the real 3DO and talk about it a bit and see how it performs. I even have added a button that will count the visible polygons and vertices on the screen, the ones that are processed, and so on. I will explain it all. And also some other stats for performance as I'm looking at it. So let's see how it goes. I don't know if the sound will be over me. So the only thing I added here is the difficulty level. If you put hard, the oxygen is depleted much faster. I'm going to put it to easy, and I put the level 3. It's the lightest level, but let's go with the regular one first. Now, okay, it's flickering because I removed VSync and now more loading bars because I changed the way I was creating the meshes, and now I have separated the mesh. I have separated the mesh of the map, one mesh for each area, so that I more easily discard. I thought it crashed for a moment. I don't hear any sounds. Let me check. No. Video capture device. Maybe it's better if we don't have the sound. Might be. I don't know if the sound plays. I'm going to leave that like that for today because it's more important. We just want to see the performance. There is an improvement. Maybe see the frame rate first. It's not 4000, it's that 27. So let's see. Okay. Which was the button. Now the thing is I removed the stars because I was testing performance. And there's still a bit of I will do the stars better. But they weren't the main one still. Now this is quite better. On the Phoenix it was doing 30. Okay, it's doing 30 if you go close. From 15 to 20, 25 here. But that's the starting area and I'm not looking at much geometry. That's the VDL. I have removed the VDL. You see, I have removed the oxygen bars here. Okay. I've removed the oxygen bar and the gems because I wanted to test the performance. So I didn't want them to interfere. And now that's the particles. They look really good on this screen. So you see here the frame rate is much better. Now you go here. Oh, it's much darker. Oh, fuck. Where are the lights? I had some lights. Okay, that has some atmosphere. Pretty dark. I didn't know it was that dark. The thing is, every time I do a change, because I don't have a starting seed, a random seed, so I remove the stars, and the stars were created with calling to the rand function, which progressed the random seed. So now, in my previous test, there was some light here and here, because it happens, because all the lights and the gems are also randomly placed every time. But they are at the same place because I don't have a random seed at the beginning. It's what comes after. So I ended up having a very dark corridor, and now here is brighter. It has more vivid colors and much more black and dark. It's a bit dark, but it has some atmosphere. So this open area has 15. Okay, yeah, this is dropping here, because here, when you look, even if you look here, I'm in this area, so that stuff also have to be calculated, at least rotated, and it gets at 12 frames. And maybe this connects to another area far away. It even looks to this area, so this area till down. I could split in smaller areas, of course. That will save a lot. There is a lot to be done. So there are places that you still get a 12, but you used to get a 13, 12, 8 frames per second here, to be honest. So that's quite an improvement. It does look smooth. Now when you look here, it's much better. It's 30 frames when you look, because there are very few polygons. But let me show you. Is it this one? This might drop the frame rate a bit, just a bit, because I'm printing more stuff with a DrawCel for every text line. But it doesn't matter now. I just need the stats. So this, where it says 84, I will see that too. This is the total time taken by both transforming the 3D points, rotating and projecting, and that transformation is the 43, the second number. Then 23, 24, 25 is the time taken, the percent of the total time taken to prepare the polygons and prepare the cell vectors and everything. It's from the transform points to prepare the polygon, and also discard polygons. See that some polygons are outside of the scene, some polygons are we don't see the front face of the polygon, we see the back face. So to do the extra discard and finally prepare. Apparently, you see, there is a reason for that. The polygon loop is it takes 20 something at this view. Of course, if I rotate it, these numbers change. Maybe not much. If we go to an open space with lots of polygons, yeah, you will see it. Okay, let's go here. Anyway, but generally speaking, the thing I need to attack is the vertex transformation, which are happening with the hardware matrix, and they are fewer than before, because I don't have to rotate the whole map. See, now they are more, it's almost 30% of the time taken on the points, 21. Oh, and interesting. Now this is worse than the Phoenix, of course, but okay, what is the 40, 41, 42? This is the DrawCel call. This is the time where this is the time the cell engine is taking. And because there are a lot of polygons with a lot of textures on the screen, it takes way more here. Now, if you go, let's go, even here. if I go here and I stick my face to this wall, now the cell engine takes 13, for example, 14, 26 to decide what polygons to render. Now you might see 2 polygons in front, but the whole space around has more. There are polygons behind me. I have to iterate through all the polygons of this area to decide what are the ones that I have to send to the cell, and also create the vectors. So if you look in the empty space, the cell engine takes 0 because I draw no polygons. I spent 44 to rotate the points and about 29, 30 to decide which polygons I have to render, and I end up with no polygons. Here, and as you get here and there are things to render, you see the cell rendering rising. What do I mean by that? You might say, but there are no polygons on the screen. Yeah, but my player is at a place, and you need to transform the points against the player position and see which points are inside or outside and which polygons should be rendered then. So you need to do all. Do you see the other numbers? 1000, I'm looking there at an almost empty space. 1171, 1061. Those numbers, let me think, yeah. Those two are more stable. Okay, the 1171 is at this point, how many vertices I have to rotate. And again, you might say, but there is nothing in front. Yeah, but I'm in this area, and there are vertices. You might look towards that direction, but you don't know that. You could be looking there. So you have to rotate these, the points of the visible area. And if I'm here, all this area till above is visible. And if I look part of that corridor there, and there is also, let's see, this corridor, I'm looking this corridor. This might be, this dig in the cave might be another corridor. I might be rotating that points too. I don't rotate the points of a faraway corridor that is not even in view. That's the thing. In the beginning, if this map had 2000, it has over 2000 points, maybe 2300 or 2100. It had to rotate all the points. It did a better work with the polygons because you see the numbers below. I think, is it? Oh, maybe I have missed it. These are, okay, these are 110 is the vertices I will process at the end. Okay, the two numbers above, 779 is total number of vertices I will check to see which of them I have to finally project. You have to rotate all these vertices. And some of them, when I look there, most of them are behind me. So that's why you have 98 there. And you might say, but there are not 98 vertices there. Yeah, but they are on my side. This is based on Z, if they are on negative Z. You do have to, even if something is outside of you do have to rotate and project the point. So that later I know if some points of the polygon is outside or inside. Because yes, someone will protest that, why are you rotating so many points? And are there 96 points in screen? No, there are, some of them are on my sides. Just in positive Z, okay. Which means if I look to that direction, that there are a lot of points behind that wall. You might not see them, but they are rotated in front of my view. These points, even if you don't see them, because of the way I split the areas. If I split them in smaller parts, maybe some of this will be hidden. And the last number, this is more right. This is the number of polygons that I end up processing. So really, when you go here, it's 2 polygons. Maybe I get 2, 3, 4. This is more representative of what you see. So when you look there, so this number will be also the polygons you see, but there might be also some polygons behind the wall from an area that is visible. The area is visible, but some polygons might be occluded. But a lot of them is discarded. So we are doing a much better work with minimizing the visible polygons than minimizing the vertices that we have to rotate. That's why you have the second number now, 38. We spend more time rotating vertices on the scene. Not all the vertices, but 681 on this view from 939. And 20% of the CPU time is taken on preparing the polygon. From 847 polygons in this whole area, 170 are prepared. And those are also drawn with the cell. So you get more time with the cell because of the texture mapping, the texture reading, and those factors. So this is how it works. So we are going to see all maps. I might put difficulty on hard for this one. Why not? This is the bigger one of the maps. So it has points where things will be slower, much slower. But you know, I'm improving. It takes more time to load. I might change the way I'm doing the loading. I might recreate the geometry on a PC, and you're not going to have to see this loading. It will be much better. I might even make an editor for that. So this is better than before, of course. Frame rate is better, especially if you when you rotate here, because now you view, I can even put the stats. Look, the number of vertices, almost 10496, and the polygons 100 in this area. It's not just the polygons you see here. It's polygons behind, vertices behind that are because I can look at that area there. There are polygons behind this column because I can see. Some of them are occluded, so there is some occlusion. There's some big area there. That's why even the big numbers change. Here, even if I look there, because from this point I can see this area, I can see down there, I can see everything. All the points, I don't know the orientation to be able to predict all the points from all these areas. Oh, damn, it's the freaking flower. All of these points. 2,400, oh my god. All of these points, and some of them are, they end up not being projected. If I look there, a lot of points are behind me. But I have to rotate this point. I still have to use the hardware matrix to rotate all these points so that I know which points are behind me. And I can improve the visibility. I can add, if memory allows it, I can think of new methods. There are a lot of things I can do. I could have more visibility data based on the player orientation. Maybe. There are lots of things that can be achieved. I see, the polygon numbers it's crazy at this point. 2000. And this is it is a pretty complicated map for. It improves if you look there. That's the slow, oh my god, 6 frames. And even the cell is dying. It's not even, the cell is taking 40, 42, and I'm maximizing the 94, 95. I need to see, when you look here, it says that, okay, 81% of the CPU is taken for all the processing. So where is the 20 lost? Is it maybe my collision detection code or some other stuff? Because not many. Okay, some of them might be, if I hide those. 84, it goes to 82, 81. I'm gonna look at this too, but it is slow, but that thing is a really detailed view. You can even see up there. Let's see, I have the flight controls on now, because I can't escape. You can see through this, and even this area. And you know, if you can see, you might be able to see those cubes, but because I have sculptured this area, all these polygons belong to a tiny part you see. So you see from down there, you see parts of the cubes from other areas, so maybe only this one is occluded from that place. With this one, let's remove I removed the flight mode. Where is my, oh, I wasn't pointing. Yeah, those flower propel you. I might die. Let's see. I don't have my oxygen bar. I don't know if it updates, or it's just the rendering of it. I mean, okay, for such detail on the 3DO, it's not doing badly, and I will improve with that. Like we can do some pretty cool. Or at best, you can make more simple maps. Don't make such big caves, except in special. I could make maps with mostly small rooms. This looks majestic, and I will say, you see there, the weapon is not here. Because I disabled all kinds of elements to check the performance. It was intentional that I have hidden it. But the particles are still. Also, the weapon doesn't steal performance. I removed the bars and the other UI stuff because when I'm showing those stats, the gems were on top of them. Now, if I had the bar, I would see it dying in my screen. Oh, I have removed the VDL code to change the. When I'm doing these stats, I have removed a lot of stuff too. As I was searching why I'm getting 80% from all the rendering here. Where is the 20%? I think I have a bad code for. Okay, let's check it. I'm going. If I put fly mode, there is no. Actually, there is still collision. Oh, let's remove the collision then. How was it? I think now there is no collision. There is no collision. But I'm flying. So now we genuinely. Oh, but the flower. Oh, the flowers still work. The flowers still propel me. Even in flight mode. So now, see, 0, 0. We are outside, so nothing is visible. But if you go, it's... I think on the outside blocks that are solid really, I have put a maybe negative number for visibility or a 0. So when you go here, oh, it's annoying with the flowers. So if I enable the collision, even if I get stuck, did I enable the collision? I think I enabled the collision. Oh, okay. If I'm pressing nothing, okay, the collision is only checked when you move. 250, 250. If I press, and now I'm pressing 3 direction and it's false. I think for 250 frames it's okay, but I can improve that. Let's enable it now so that I can go here. So collision will play a role only when there is a move, but there is a constant move with the gravity. Oh, I forgot to. You have it, guys. You see the whole map. Let me see. Let me go here. For some reason, some parts that are outside. Is there a part I can see? So here you have 1000. 1863. What is the best we can do? But everything is in view, so you see all points are rotated, are in view. All polygons, some polygons are outside. That's the worst case. What's the frame rate on that? I guess I'm gonna put the other levels now. The reason this is flickering, by the way, is because I disabled momentarily disabled VSync, and I have the background clearing. It doesn't happen in the main game. For some reason it happens here. But I have also enabled more than 2 frame buffer. I have from 4 frame buffers. Maybe if I had the whole 6 and spend, there has to be a better way to have VSync. I mean, in that menu screen, I could simply not stop the clearing of the screen because you don't need it. You don't need to clear it. Oh, actually, you need if you move the icon. But okay. Or enable the VSync in that screen because we don't care. Oh yeah, because without VSync that screen would go very, very, very fast. So let's see here. It's much better here, 28, 29. We are reaching, at some cases, 51 frames, wow. And what do the stats say? You see, it's dropped from 52 to 48 with the stats, but that's okay. It's the way I'm currently printing the numbers. 0 polygons rendered, 0 cell, more time on rotating, the 500 points, 550 and 499 polygons, from which 0 is displayed, and 141 is on the view. and these are changing depending on where you look. I'm gonna remove this so that we see the performance. My god, when I play on the real 3.0 it's more moody. On the capture or on the TV, the dark colors are darker, the bright colors are brighter. You see some views and it's really vivid, you know, really smooth lighting with dark places. Here, some views take 20, even more, 24, 29, it's variable. But this is a small area, okay. And here it will drop, of course. Ten frames here. Oh, many lights together there. There's just so many stuff on the screen. Yeah, when you are going in the cave, so it's a bit variable here. So many corridors. The worst case is when you look here and everything is look, there is a cave up there. There is a 3 cave systems here. So I notice now that there is the cave we came up here and it's dug. Here it's dug. Yeah, by the time you enter those caves, frame rate does improve. The flowers propel. The other thing I'm happy, if you try to go out of bounds, now you have those polygons disappear. This is another thing I want to fix. This is because you are very clear. I have to subdivide. This is another thing I haven't fixed because it's not easy. Oh god, from this view, obviously because there are a lot of points in front of you. Oh, hold on. Okay, see, this happened now. For some reason, the video is disconnected. Now we have it again. I have to deactivate the device activate on OBS. It always does. I haven't touched the cable. I don't understand it. Maybe this is USB capture. And I was happy that I'm not happy for that, but I'm happy that it's hard to make the player go out of bounds with some bug. You are trying to stick in corners and do maybe use the flowers to do some crazy shit. Make the flowers propel you, and I couldn't get myself. Oh, look what I know. Oh my god, this is a particle. Okay, why is a particle outside? Some particles get stuck. Oh my god, a lot of. Oh, now they disappear. At least I have a pool. And maybe because I changed something in the code. This is not what I was doing. Like, oh, if a particle dies, put it outside. I had some code to mark it as non-visible so that it's not even rendered. But in this case, for some reason, some of them are rendered. Oh, particles. Oh, more bugs. Okay, you've seen it. Oh, look at this. Oh, I know. I tried to fix that. See this one. Am I destroying the gems? I'm destroying the gems. While this one, these gems are forever. But this side doesn't have. The way it is now, if this side has gems, it will have the same texture if you could see behind on the right side. But of course, it's not. I'm not. There's nothing. Yeah, with other one. Now this one, it has 3. Okay. And if I destroy this, oh, That's also a bug. They don't disappear. Sometimes they don't. Oh, the one above disappear. Okay, I know what that is. Maybe this one, you see. And I will tell you. I okay, I'm going to fix this. The way this works, this is the thing, you know. To make things faster, I've changed to make things faster. I have at first I reordered the polygon so that I split this whole map into areas. So this cave might be area 1 or part of this cave. This cave area 2. Here, this cave. This central might be area 3 or area 0. And in order to be able to, yeah, initially when I was constructing the polygons and the vertices from the blocks, one area, some of the polygons might be at different indices that are far away from them. But then I reordered the polygons in the mesh to be all the polygons of area 0 are at the same place and so on, so that I can render them in batches. So I say the area 0 is invisible from this view. So skip all its polygons. Don't go polygon after polygon. I did some optimization like that. Then I changed it again. I used another method where I split the mesh in many meshes. But those gems, when you attack the gems, you don't attack the polygon. You attack the block data. So I had to make another table to connect at least the blocks that have gems, because it would take way more memory on 3DO to connect every block, with the polygons and the cells. But because I split the geometry, something went wrong. Although I tried to store the area, I tried to say, is it the opposite? Maybe if I attack that one. So you understand that when you do such refactoring for speed, everything changes. So now this gem, it didn't disappear because it didn't know this block to which polygon is connected. So that it say, okay, if you hit this block, I will find the texture, I will find the polygon side from where you're shooting, and I will remove its texture. So I guess now we see it. At first nothing was disappearing. When I started doing, nothing was disappearing, and I made the necessary changes. Anyway, and I check this only when I shoot it. So how is the frame rate? Okay, 25, 26, 25 for. It's not very much affected by particles, but let's see. I might even want to see the cell. Cell is taking 14. It's taking 20. Yeah, lots of particles with transparency, but that's okay. Because what was the frame rate? Unfortunately, from 20, it doesn't affect much for the particle. Okay, from 2018, but you're doing particles, okay. The most important is when you are looking at stuff. I think that matters. And finally, I'll select the last level, which is the one before, but with reduced caves. One that I try to keep. It's one on the previews I was showing, where there was a dig going down, and that's it. It wasn't connected to many other places. So we can see how the frame rate improved. Although the reality is it's not much different. From this view, for example, it's the same because we don't see the areas below. So even if you made if you made caves, since this is far away from there, it would the visibility would say you don't need to render those parts. Or even rotate, you don't even need to rotate their points. So the frame rate here is similar. But by the time you go here, it does drop again to kind of similar level, maybe a bit better. And you know what I have to do? See, now that's the same area. It still goes to... and I don't see. Okay, this is dying now because of the cell renderer. It goes 45, 46. Even here. And it might not be just those cells. There might be cells behind in the corridor. An area might be visible. Because this is not, it's light. It's less than 1000 vertices to rotate, less than 1000 polygons, 900 something. 900 vertices are rotated, 656 polygons on view. Actually, the polygons on view, some of them are behind those polygons. They are rendered back to front. So I guess this is it, 700 polygons. The cell is dying. Almost half of it is taken. And when you look here, it's much better. Even if 900. Oh god, it did it again. We are back. The frame froze. You know. Yeah, maybe this one. '27, '28. Yeah, obviously the particle affects the cell, but not. It's okay. It's not significantly to matter. Because of all the blending. Because the big thing is that. Yeah. But again, this is an amazing view. Let's fly. If you go here, depends on how many polygons you see. It's pretty good. It's pretty much better than... I can use my particle if I'm flying because it's the button. To hit this block. Yeah, this doesn't work yet well. Oh, I might not even be hitting it. Yeah, this is still the finding of the... I have to fix that. Ah, see, only the one below disappeared. Yeah. That has to do with... I will have to rethink this, the way I'm connecting the blocks that have gems with the geometry and the textures. I was going to scrap it anyway. No stars because I removed them to get a bit better performance. And it's not like the stars are stealing. Maybe from 27 you would get 30. From 32. They do steal. And I can reduce them and do it better. Yeah, let's try something. Let's fly. And here, when I fly, you see outside the visibility is a bit random. The way it works. I'm not handling it correctly, and there are places where, for whatever is, oh, it's amazing. I don't know where I am. And that's it, guys. I think that's a preview of where things are now and how it runs on the real machine. Definitely a bit improved than the game jam entry. And there is more to improve, and maybe I will work on the main game and fix a lot of bugs, add gameplay. And one plan I have is to port the engine on PC, because not for the game itself, but the way I'm building the maps now, I start with I have a 32 by 32 by 32 array with voxels, with block data, and I make everything solid. I use the texture that I'm using in the level. So everything is solid. And then I carve the inside. I make a tunnel with a sphere or a box that erases, creates empty spaces inside. So I do it backwards. And I had functions where I say from this point to that point, draw an empty sphere and carve the place, make a cave inside there. And when I do that, when I make a big line, I also say this is area 1, then carve from the end of this line to some other line at whatever direction, make another corridor or make a box or make a drag it and make another sphere carving or box carving or whatever, and also mark it with the next advancing area. So it goes area 0, 1, 2. This is how I split it. And when I was doing a corridor, I can say to split in 2, 3 areas if I wanted to make more. Also, there is a limitation on the number of areas now. There is a lot to change. But that was the easiest way at the time, when I didn't have time to learn some editor or make an editor. But what I want to do is port this engine and move around like Minecraft, and I would carve it, I would look at some block and erase it. So make some kind of editor where you also fly around like Minecraft and carve blocks or even add blocks and change the areas manually. And that will help immensely. And this means I will build everything, the lighting, I already built the visibility on PC. But I don't have a visualizer of the map. I just take the data from the way I build them on 3DO. I build them the same way with the same functions on PC and calculate the visibility, which takes much longer than the lighting. The lighting is still calculated on 3DO. I could do that one on PC too. So that's the big plan, to create some editor tool for my maps directly on PC, and I will just This means a lot of code will be cleared on the 3DO side. There will be an improvement in memory consumption for many reasons. And it might be easier to debug certain things. And anyway, that's it. And it's not good to look at some empty space here. And yeah, because we are looking at empty space, let's, as a bonus, I guess, although I don't remember. Yeah, that's it. Those are the dots using the hardware matrix. This is another experiment I'm doing. 4096 dots. Just the dots that I'm rendering. Now, this is 21 frame, but I'm also rendering the points. I'm doing the projection and rendering the points. If I press start, it will not do that, but it will still do the rotation, so that I have a complete idea how fast the hardware matrix is. So I'm getting 51 frames per second to rotate 4096 points. And that's only for rotating points, because you might say, if you can rotate 4096 points in 51 frames, why does Bizarro Untergrund run slow with fewer points rotating? Because this is just a part of the things we are doing in Bizarro Untergrund. And see, even just allowing the rendering of these points, it drops immensely. But also, this part also does the projection, I think. Or maybe not, maybe it just does. I think it does the projection. Which I did it with a multiplication in the table. So 21, a 51. And I'm working in a technique that is hard to explain. And now, this technique, it might not be easy. You might say, why don't you use it on the Bizarro Untergrund? Because I have to... This is, right now, this is if you have all the points. If there are gaps in the points, it doesn't work. But I'm thinking of some cool ways to store the vertices of the 3D map. So it's flickering because I remove the vsync so that we see the best speed. 28 from 21, and then, oh my god, 172 from 51. I think it was 101 then. It was the previous technique. I did some optimization. I did some clever tricks. So we have a technique. This is rotating now 4096 points, and it's more than 3 times faster than the hardware matrix. But okay, let's put everything. The points have to be those. It has to be an ordered 3D cube. You know what I mean? Without gaps. But I'm thinking of a technique that is crazy, that the points on the 3D maps of the game, on the Bizarro Untergrund, most of these dots don't exist. And you don't want to rotate 32 by 32, 32, 32,000 points, because it will be way slower than that. If that was getting, just for the rotation, 172, if you went for the 32, because this is 16 by 16 by 16, 4096, for the 32 by 32 by 32, you had to divide this by 8. It could be 20 frames per second. So you don't want to rotate everything. But the way I did this trick now, it's a XYZ loop over every point. And I'm doing it in a way that there is no multiplications for the rotation Okay, for the rotation at least. No multiplication, simple additions, incremental additions from point to point. But the points are ordered. Now, on the Bizarro Untergrund, the points of the 3D map at least, not the 3D object, the 3D map, are also ordered, but there are a lot of points that don't exist, that you have to skip. And I'm thinking of a technique. So this is just research. If I can somehow reuse this trick with some alterations on the Bizarro Untergrund 3D points, which is fun, to replace the hardware matrix with this. You cannot do this trick with a with a matrix, software or hardware. It's an entirely different thing. And I'm thinking some crazy shit, even some generated assembly code. Although I might do the C version first. I will make this possible maybe and see how that performs. Okay, maybe I can load the points from a Bizarro Untergrund map, the one with 2,500 points, rotate it here in this empty project with the hardware matrix, and then try to rotate it with the other technique, implement the technique here. Because it might be hard to integrate in a way that there are no overflow. You see, there is even a point on the left side that goes up. There is something going out. It's a hacky technique, and yeah, here. I don't know what that is. So it will take. It's a parallel research I'm doing now, which if I improve the main engine in other ways, I might not need to reuse. But it could be a parallel research to optimize the pure rotations of those points in the 3D grid of the map. It might not be working for 3D models, where if the points are not ordered in a 3D map regularly. And it might work for the big maps. And that's it, boys. So I think I have to stop that. I have talked enough about my exciting new 3DO projects. And more are there to come. And hopefully see you soon with a game updated with gameplay too, with some losing and winning position and more levels and so on. Bye!